Finally tonight, we travel to a small town on the U.S.-Canadian border with regular essayist Jim Fisher, columnist of the Kansas City Times, and 10,000 other visitors.
This is Middle America, albeit as far north as you can get. Roseau, Minnesota is 10 miles from the Canadian border. Land hereabouts is flat, largely empty, where descendants of the Scandinavian settlers joke there are 9 months of winter and 3 months of tough sledding. Roseau is small-town America, largely isolated with no bus, rail, or airlines. This being high summer, it's get-together time.
All right, here we go. Are we all having fun yet?
Time for family gatherings, lefse and other Swedish delicacies. To show off the grandchildren and meet the cousins from around the country. To resume conversations broken off a year ago. And oh yes, to have 10,000 people come to town. To pack every hotel and residence within 60 miles. To have another kind of family reunion. The 35th anniversary celebration of a company called Polaris Industries, manufacturers of the Mercedes, of snowmobiles and all-terrain vehicles. Signs of the celebration were everywhere. And attendance rules were simple. Customers, dealers, former owners, even anyone who's ever cast a covetous eye at a Polaris product were invited. And they came from this country, especially where it snows, from Canada, Japan, Norway, Sweden, and Germany. There was a pancake breakfast, a precision drill team, an ATV pull, a huge cake in the shape of a snowmobile, and finally, on Saturday night, a town-wide street dance featuring none other than the back behind the barn board. As noticeable as the crowds were the brightly painted machines, evoking such a fierce loyalty that thousands would return for this unusual company reunion. These models are lineal descendants of the first snowmobile, a jury-rigged device built in a blacksmith shop here in 1954. David Johnson, one of the founders of Polaris, invented the first machine.
Materials are hard to get in those days, so you wound up with an extremely heavy machine. And we used materials at hand. I used materials that was there. It was angle iron and channel iron and sheet of metal and cast iron sprockets, and went to the hardware store and bought a Briggs & Stratton engine and coupled them all together, and it went to a degree in the snow.
How fast?
Oh, the first one about 4 miles an hour. Better than walking, though.
Now Polaris snowmobiles go 100 miles an hour, and the company has sales of $200 million, including a whopping $50 million in exports to more than 20 countries. Snowmobiles, ATVs, no real high-tech there. No concept that would make a stock jump off the chart, that'd set the leverage buyout boys to drooling. What's here is something older, more basically American. Machines that fulfill the requirement of any engineer in that they work. What you see is the kind of stuff we used to make when Made in the USA seemed to be on everything from a paring knife to a hydroelectric generator. Machines and products resulting from incremental improvements in engineering, rigorous testing, and the long view of product development. And above all, what seems sadly lacking in America today, quality.
When you can take somebody through the plant and show them the quality going into the machine, right from the first bolts, then the welding, to the sprockets, to the assembly, and through the paint system, the whole thing, and then the final test of the machine, and then, of course, the final inspections. I could take somebody through the plant with an open mind, and I can sell them a Polaris every time.
There's something else here, something rare, a commitment to people in the shop.
It takes commitment and concern for your fellow man when you are working together. If you're a disgruntled worker on the floor, you're not going to make the best product. You're going to say, oh, that's good enough. You don't care. And we want that caring about the employee to carry through to the customer, through the product.
How practical that sounds today, and how oriental. Yet go back a century, in the years following our Civil War, when dilettantes shook their heads at the crassness of this bustling young country. Our homegrown art was primitive, American literature crude. Our cities were dirty and raucous, the West a killing ground, both of animals and cultures. But none other than the high-nosed Oscar Wilde would be shaken by the clean, organic beauty of our tools and machines, and the single-mindedness of flinty shop foremen who asked, nay demanded, perfection. What resulted were machines that, like the Polaris, looked right and worked. Listen to Wilde. There is no country in the world where machinery is as lovely as in America. I always wished to believe that the line of beauty and strength are one. That wish was realized when I contemplated American machinery. The question begs, why here? Why in other little pockets of America, too far and too few, does a particular genius surface, one that spits into the gale of foreign products and succeeds? Surely part of the answer includes enlightened management, a measure of timing, stubbornness, and luck, finding a niche in what's now a world marketplace, and willing and productive workers who, as they say here, live what they make.
We were the first ones in it, and we were not about to give up that easy. It was tough going, but we had a commitment to snowmobiling, and we knew snowmobiling, and we loved snowmobiling. It was more than work. It was fun for us to make a product we could go out and enjoy.